G'day, welcome back. Back here in the workshop. It's been a minute, but finally back here, gonna get some stuff done. You'll notice we've upgraded the TV down here. We've got a much bigger screen, 42-inch screen. There's a subwoofer and a thing, but unfortunately I've got nowhere to sit down here. So today's fun project, we're gonna make a seat. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be made out of scrap, heaps of scrap. Gonna make a seat, and I'll show you the plan. Alright, so this was my first attempt at drawing what I wanted to build.
You know, for kids.
I don't know what that is, but we can't build that because it's probably geometrically impossible, physically impossible. So I've made a slightly better one, you know. Oh, hang on, you know. So some metal, some more metal, looks like a seat, sits like a seat, we'll call it a seat. I'll show you what we're going to make it out of. Right, we got heaps of this 50mm square tube. Pretty solid. Actually made the wife and I made our lockdown project out of these tubes and some macrocarpa. That looks pretty cool. But yeah, still got plenty of these, and we're going to make a seat. As you can see, some of them aren't that flat. These are left over from an industrial process, so we heaps of it. We didn't have to buy, but yeah, none of it's that straight. And I've tried to straighten it before, and it didn't go too well. Right, so now I need to chop up some metal. You've seen the plan, it's foolproof. I'll chop it up, get back to you. Right, so here's our welder. It's a SIG Weld 135 MIG. Only problem is I left the gas turned on, so we've got no gas, which isn't a problem because we have a reel of gasless flux core wire. But to get this in here, we just got to do a bit of configuration on the inside. So we'll see what that's all about, because I've never used this one for flux core welding before. Right, you can see, so we've got a setup chart for mild steel gasless 0.8mm, shielding gas not required. So we're going to make it torch negative, bing bing, stick the wire in, job's done. So I swapped our knobs over, but you know, we know what we mean. It's all a bit fluid these days, isn't it? Beautiful. Yeah. Right, so here's our first part of the build. Let's see if we can get it nice and square. as good as we'll get. Cool. Let's weld it up. Right, so here's our base. It's all been squared up using some precision tools on our fine welding concrete floor. So we're only going to weld in this front member at the moment. The rear one we'll leave loose. It's just there is a spacer at the moment, but we need to work out exactly where our spring will sit for a boingy boingy. Yeah, so we'll stick that together, make the top half, and then figure out this bit. Right, so you can see here we got the seat base kind of cut out. We got the seat back here and the support for the top of the seat back, but we need to put some wood in there, so we got something to sit on. So sticking with the recycled theme, got this heavy pallet. Our gap here, we've got a 400mm gap. So we want 450mm boards to go in here, and our span there's 500. So we don't have to get too kind of involved in pulling nails out. We can just chop it down. We've got loads of boards. We'll make that. So we'll get chopping, get these out, start kind of figuring out how it's going to go together, and hopefully we'll have a chair soon. Right, so here's our seat base, here's our wood. Before we do too much more, we need to I need to clean this up, make it look a wee bit more presentable. Then what we're going to do, we're going to cut a channel in the sides so the wood can sit in there, and then we can fix it all together. Right, so here's our cleaned up seat base. Here's our board. So next we need to cut our channel for the wood to sit in. So we've got 50mm tube, 25mm board. So we need a 25mm channel down here. And we'll probably drop it down 5mm from the top. So we've got a wee bit of strength up there. Mark and drill and cut our channel, and come back to you. Right, so here's the mock-up of the base. Nothing's welded yet, but we got our planks planed. Obviously I don't have a planer, so we've just kind of made the rough sawn bits look a bit more rustic. So it's definitely going to be a rustic look. I think that'll work out pretty well with a bit of stain or something on there. You can see the Problem with cutting with angle grinders and you're not very good at it, your lines aren't very straight, but we can fill that with weld, grind it back and it'll look beautiful. So I'll square this up, I'll weld it, try not to burn the wood, although a few burns on the wood might add to the character. But yeah, that's our seat base. It's going to be pretty solid. Quite happy with that, with the look of that so far. Right, so just like the seat base, I've done the seat back, same process. Tube, slot, wood, done. So next we need to stick these two together. I've put a wee jaunty angle on here, so our seat back's going to lean a bit. We'll see how even that is, but it's going to be close enough. Nice long seat back, going to be super comfy, kinda. Pallets and metal, so comfy. So yeah, we'll figure out how to stick that together, and I'll try and film that, and you'll see the my true prowess as a welder. Right, so about the last piece of the puzzle is to drill our holes and assemble it using what I've got lying around, which are these carriage bolts, which should look quite nice coming through there. I might need to trim them off a touch. So yeah, we'll drill some holes, bolt it together, locate where our spring's going to go, weld that in, then we're done. Oh, yeah. Jesus. Nuts. Right, let's put them together. We'll put our spring on the springy digger. Lift our base up. Take it for a test drive. Oh yeah, man. That's all right. Nice bit of bounce. I think the spring rate's about perfect. Job done. So there you go. My scrap metal pallet coil spring workshop chair project came out pretty well, I think. Yeah, it does exactly what I wanted it to. Obviously, there's a million different ways to do something like this. I was going for quick and dirty. It definitely was dirty. Flux core welding is horrible stuff. Gets the ugliest welds you've ever seen, but they're pretty strong and ugly. That's what we tend to go for. I could have finished it better, could have finished it differently. I could have done all sorts, but this is the chair I wanted to make, and it's the chair I made, so got to be happy with that. As always, Be safe if you're doing this kind of stuff. Eyes, ears, lungs, fingers. You kind of want to keep those so you can enjoy your project at the end. And yeah, love this. Going to use it to watch movies. Can't wait. And we'll catch you at the next one. Cheers.